Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hey, y'all. Stephen Williams here. They call me the Good Bishop, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity for you to join me behind the veil. Y'all, come on in. This is going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night as we continue with the celebration. This is International Women's Month, I believe it is. And so we are excited about this opportunity tonight. My sister's in, so we are rolling. We are celebrating women and on this Women's History Month. And tonight we are so honored. I can't wait to get to my guests tonight. Just things that I've always wanted to wear a robe and have a gavel and tell people sit down. And but the Lord just made me a pastor, and so I get to tell people sit down, but I don't get no. Well, I guess I do get to wear a robe. I'm gonna start wearing my robe on Sunday, and I'm gonna see if I can get me a gavel, and then I'm gonna tell. Be quiet. No, I'm just joking. But I have a wonderful, wonderful guest tonight, and I cannot wait to hear her story and how she basically made it to this monumental place that many of us dreamed about when we were kids, but most of us did not pursue. And so we have somebody who is going to be excellent. Now, listen, tonight I have messed around. And through the help of Cynthia Crawford, I have gone through and found one of my old songs that was sung by Mitchell Goldsmith and Sold Out. They sang one of my songs, and I want you to listen to our song of the week. And it is just perfect. I Want to Live. I wrote this song some time ago, and it's the absolute bomb to me. And so, but then again, I wrote it. So y'all check this out. Mitchell Goldsmith and Sold Out sang my song some years ago called Perfect Will, and I want you to enjoy it. Don Dykes is the one that is leading it, and he's done an excellent job with it. And this was many moons ago when we were younger. Let's do it. Let's roll.
Yo.
Go, Finger. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Man, guess who came up for prayer again today?
Man.
Hang up on him.
On this particular topic, but we appreciate you very much.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, dude, you ain't gonna believe this, man. Guess who was at the club last night?
What you mean? How you know they was at the club last night?
I mean, you know, I mean,
Click.
Yo.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
What you doing?
I'm at the studio.
Well, let me tell you something. Guess who I seen today that was not with their husband? And they always got the nerve to be going up for prayer. I said, hello?
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 Hello? That's the best part.
Hello?
All right. That was good. Y'all give it up for Rain. All right, we're coming to this stage. They're getting ready to put it down real big for us. Mr. Goldsmith and Soul Out. Let's get the poetics going on.
All right.
Can you dig it?
Let's go, Don.
Had a little something, that I like to say. I'll make a declaration that I did in my own way. Try to fulfill my dream, try to make them come to pass. Not ever realizing that it's only what I do for Christ that will last. And I realize that I'm just a man. Can't go around doing what I want to do just because I can. Cause I want to live, y'all. Oh my. And it's perfect will. I want to live. Oh, I want to live. I want to live in His will. Everything that came into my mind. That's what I try to do. Thinking that my gift is would somehow they would
bring me through.
I was wrong, so please don't
Go that way.
You can only get real joy if you do just what he says. And I realize that I am simple fast. Every time I try to do it my way, I simply make a mess. Cause I want to live, y'all. It is perfect will. I wanna live. Oh, I wanna live.
I wanna live in His will.
Come on, it is will, perfect will.
Perfect will.
I wanna live. Oh, I wanna live.
I wanna live in His will.
Yeah. Well, if he says go, know that that's
For my life,
God said no.
it's no.
I know that that's
For my life,
God said free.
it's free.
I know that that's
For my
He
life,
wants me to free.
it's free.
I know that that's
For my life,
God said sing. I know that that's
for my life,
If He wants me to sing,
it's sing.
I know that
For my life,
If He says hey, I know that that's
for my
He
life,
says I can. Oh yeah, I know that that's
for my life,
If He wants me to dance,
for my life,
if He wants me to dance, yeah.
for my life.
Said I wanna live
I wanna live.
in His perfect will.
Perfect.
Said I wanna live
I wanna live.
in His perfect will.
Perfect.
Said I wanna
I
live
wanna live.
in His perfect will.
It's perfect.
Said I wanna live, oh yeah,
I wanna live.
in His perfect will.
It's perfect.
If He said yeah, for my life, say yeah. For my life, yeah.
Yes, sir. I want to live in His perfect will. This is that was back in some days that when I was writing real good and wanted to be in His will, wanted to do all I need to do. And so tonight, again, Stephen Williams here. They call me the Good Bishop. Thank you so much, and welcome to Behind the Veil. I am excited. They don't say stoked no more, do they? That ain't no word, is it? I'm pumped. That's a good word right there. I'm pumped tonight to have with us Judge Camille Banks Prince. Former Governor Michael Easley appointed Judge Camille Banks Prince as the 10th District Court Judge in Forsyth County on January 31st, 2008. Her seat was created by the North Carolina General Assembly during the 2007 legislative session. She was sworn in on March 6th, great month, 2008, and elected to her first 4-year term on November 4th, 2008. Judge Banks Prince is a native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She is a 1994 graduate of North Forsyth High School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She graduated summa cum laude in May of 1998 from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University with a Bachelor of Social Work. Subsequently, she graduated cum laude. Man, you smart. You get a whole lot of cum laudes and laudes and all that good stuff. She did that in May of 2001 from North Carolina Central University School of Law. As a law student, she served on the Moot Court Board and the Law Journal. While in college and after completing law school, she served as a volunteer for the Forsyth County Guardian ad litem program. You'll correct me on that. As a practicing attorney, Judge Banks Prince was employed as an associate in a private law firm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, for 1 year before taking a position in the Forsyth County Public Defender's Office in March of 2003. I really want to talk to her about that move because we hear bad things about public defenders. We hear it all the time. She held her position as an assistant public defender until she was appointed as a district court judge. In March 2012, a mental health treatment court was established in Forsyth County District Court, and since its inception, she has presided over that court exclusively. Judge Banks Prince has served on numerous boards of directors and currently serves on the board of the Legacy Foundation for Women. She is a recipient of a Mildred. I can't even say that word. A whole bunch of awards. To include the 2009 Living Legacy Starter Award, 2012 Distinguishing Service Award, 2014 Leaders Under 40 Award, and 2018, I guess that's NAMI, North Carolina John Baggy Award for her work in the mental health treatment court. Judge Banks Prince is married to Darrell A. Prince Jr. and is the proud mother of 4 children. Deja, we're going to Deja, Zaria, Alex, and Jacob. She is a member of Love and Faith Christian Fellowship in Kernersville, North Carolina. Judge Banks Prince enjoys traveling, reading, and spending time with her family. Will you all show some love out there on our site for the Honorable Judge Camille Banks Prince? Thank you. I'm going to get some hand claps. That's what I'm going to do next time. I'm going to get some hand claps because I need some hand claps for people like you. Thank you so much for joining me behind the veil.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I am so honored, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, Judge Banks Prince. I'm nervous because you're a judge, and I don't want to say no. I know it, but you make me nervous because you're a judge. You're a judge. You're a judge. I'm here to have fun. I am so excited to celebrate you as an African American woman. Right here, a native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and you're still here doing it big in the city. I am so pumped, and we getting ready to get into it. You all get your questions for the judge. I know y'all been wanting to ask some. This ain't Judge Judy. None of this. This is the real thing. This is the real thing. And so who is, I guess I want to say, who is Camille? I guess it's Camille Banks when you are 15, 16-year-old. And are you dreaming of being a judge at that age?
Okay, so the dream to be a judge didn't come till later on, but the dream to be an attorney came at the age of 10. And at that age, all I had for an example was what I saw on court TV shows. But I liked what I saw. I liked the people looked professional. They were able to advocate. And I thought that that was something I could do a good job with. Being the oldest child, you just kind of have this natural leadership ability very young. And I began my dream of becoming an attorney at 10 years old.
So you're the oldest of how many? How many is of you all?
Well, 5 in all.
5 in all. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're the oldest. And you wanted to be, I dreamt I was going to be a lawyer at 10 too.
You did.
But that didn't come out good. I ended up being a bishop. I guess I ruled, but
that's wonderful. We need pastors and bishops too.
And so at 10, you wanted to be a lawyer. And how do you know so soon? Did you when you're 12 and 13, 14, 15? I mean, some of us were kind of, wayward, but I guess you were focused. You really wanted that.
I did. And I stuck with it from the time I was 10 years old. anyone who knew me at that age, my mom, my family, my friends, they knew that that's what I wanted to do. So there was no backup plan for me. It was just a hard line to law school.
Wow. Wow. That's impressive, because many of our people, many of us, just period, we change up on that dream. How did you stay so focused? I mean, how did you, because there are a lot of distractions in high school. Where'd you go? You went to North Forsyth. There's a lot of distractions in high school. How did you stay focused? Because many of us get sidetracked. I mean, tracked.
Well, my parents, my mom in particular, she had a lot of rules for me. I was brought up in church, and there were so many things that I could not do at that age as a young person. One of the main things I enjoyed doing was reading. So I was imaginative as a young child, and reading books, just developing vocabulary, just learning about different things. I just kind of just fell into that and just stayed the course. I knew that if I wanted to be an attorney, I was going to have to be a disciplined person, very young, and I was pretty disciplined.
Oh, that's such a blessing. I am impressed just by that, because when I was in high school, by the time I turned 15, it was a mess. I saw girls, and that was it. You know, I was all distracted and being an athlete, and just didn't work out the way I had it planned. So for those of you who are out here, the young ladies, and y'all got children and grandchildren that you want to let them, tell them you can do it. One of the words that she says is you got to be disciplined and focused on what you want in order to do that. So y'all, we're going to skip around because she has done so much, and I want to make sure that I get most of this. Let me back up. How should we address you? You know, I know we in the courtroom, we have to do that because you make us nervous. But if we see you in the grocery store, should we address you as judge? Should we address judges as judge? You know, because they do that for us as pastor or bishop. We don't lose our title, if you will, even when we outside. Is that the same for for judgeship?
It depends. There are people who I know on a personal level, like my church members or people I've grown up with or my family. I would never expect them to address me by my title. And I would dare say that's the same for my colleagues. So it's just a show of respect. If it's a judge and it's someone you don't know on a personal level, then yes, address the person by their title. And then if that person says, well, no, you can call me, then that's when you have the go ahead. But the people in my life who are close to me or people who I've known all my life and I see them out in public, I don't expect them to say, hey, judge, even though some people do. But it just depends on the relationship.
Okay. To all of my listeners, y'all call her judge. Don't get me in trouble. Stop playing.
Some of your listeners are people that I'm either related to because they've already said hi or I've gone to church with. So those are the people that call me by my first name or my childhood nickname. So they know who they are. Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole thing is we want to make sure that we stay respectful because you've earned this. You know, this is something that you really earned. And so I understand that because people will not allow me to be Stephen, if you will, when I'm out. I'm bishop, I'm pastor, I'm rev, whatever the case is. And so I get it. I just wanted to see, I wanted to ask to make sure that that's the same way. So to the young people, I want to spend some time right here because, okay, you're focused, you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 10, you want to be this lawyer. And she did something, you all, that I find absolutely just marvelous. She stayed with the HBCU. Tell me about the decision to want to just stay with the historically Black college experience and not take this to UNC, because I'm sure you were smart enough to go to UNC, Duke, wherever you wanted to go, wherever. And so why did you focus in on that? And what should we take talk to our young people about the HBCU experience, in your opinion?
Okay. Well, for me personally, I played an instrument and I was in the marching band at my high school. And my high school our marching style was chorus style marching. And my cousins went to Carver across town. And that
Yeah.
was just a totally different marching style. So I had gone to some of the games at Winston-Salem State, seen A&T, Winston-Salem State, and I knew that's the kind of band I want to be in because I was serious with my instrument and I wanted to go on with it all the way through college. So I was playing my clarinet at church one Sunday, and this gentleman approached me after church and said, would you be interested in going to A&T? Because if you have the grades, I can get you a scholarship. So that was my kind of language because my mom was a single parent. I didn't have any money, but I had the grades. So I was able to earn not only a scholarship to participate in the band, but also an academic scholarship. So that is how I selected A&T. And it was the best decision I could have ever made as the foundation of my furthering my education from high school. It was just the best decision.
Let's
When I
unpack.
got
What was
well,
it? What was
when
it
I
about?
got there, so everything. When I arrived, just taking part in the band, and that goes back to discipline too. Being
Yeah.
a member of the band, getting that upstart, you have to go to band camp. So that first practice is at 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., then 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., then 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., and then like 5 until. So that's 2 weeks straight. So they told us, you treat this like a boot camp. So a lot of that discipline that I needed going forward, I was getting it, not realizing it was going to help me out later on. But not only that, just the friendships that I was able to make, being on a campus with African Americans from all over the country, from different backgrounds, different experiences, and we all have a common goal, which is to earn a degree. Just having professors who genuinely cared about me and wanted to see me make it and did everything that they could to propel me to the next level. It was wonderful. And I want my children, my sons, I have 2 sons who are claiming that they're future Aggies, and I'm going to try to hold them to it because I do think that it would be a good experience for them as well. They've already been to every OE there is to speak of since their births. So I've kind of broken them in already.
I get it. I get it. Everybody that I know that is an Aggie, well, I guess just like I'm a Ram, but the Aggies are very, very proud, and we celebrate you all's excellence. To me, it's still Black excellence at its best. And I'm even though I went to SU, I celebrate these Aggies. I mean, what you all have been able to accomplish. It is just phenomenal, and you definitely are on my top list of people are on here talking about you phenomenal, you amazing, you got awesome on here. You got some adjectives to describe you.
But you know what I also want to say is A&T prepared me for North Carolina Central because law school and college are not even the same experience at all when it comes to the academic part of it, but the level of education that I received, the confidence that my professors instilled in me. One of them, I recall her saying, and it stuck with me. She said, I'm just as smart as the next person as long as you provide me with the information. And that's something that was life-changing for me. And going forward into law school, the confidence that I needed, I had, and the discipline that I needed to get through those 3 years, I had acquired much of it while I was at North Carolina A&T. So both schools, I just could not imagine anything better than those 2 opportunities that I had to not only get a stellar education, but to meet some people that are lifelong friends and people who have contributed to the things that I have experienced in my own success.
Now I looked at your bio and it talked about you were the first chair or something with the clarinet. That means you must have been good at it. The question on the floor, drum roll, can you still play?
I don't know. Listen, when I went to law school, when they told you when you go to law school, your life is over. So I had to leave, I had to lay the clarinet down. And then this is the other thing. A lot of my bandmates, they march in the alumni band at homecoming, but I marched in that uniform for 4 years and I played that instrument for 4 years. So I just have not picked it back up since. I don't know that I can play anymore. I probably could if I practiced a little bit, because I guess it's like any instrument, like riding a bike or anything like that, I suppose, but I have not tried in a long time.
In between sessions, we're gonna get you a clarinet. I want you to play in, in between them sessions, get you a clarinet and 2 lute and see what we gonna do. No, I'm just joking.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
Okay.
I love this focus. And so you choose Central. Why? There is North Carolina law, there is Wake law, you could have gone to Howard. I'm sure you have all of the credentials. Why did you want to? Was it something pertinent, or are we talking about another scholarship opportunity to go to North Carolina Central, or what is, or it's just a vibe, or that was just your focus?
I'm kind of a hometown girl, as you can see. So back in Winston-Salem, where I was raised and went to school here. But the other thing was North Carolina Central, again, was an HBCU law school in North Carolina. And like I said, my degree from there, my education from North Carolina Central, the preparation that I received from that school, I can't imagine that I could have gotten better anywhere else. And not only that, again, the professors and the people that I have met are lifelong individuals, lifelong friends. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. And to be able to go to 2 HBCUs is something that is, I think, not as common, especially when you're talking about going to undergraduate and law school at 2 HBCUs. But it was good for me, and if I had it to do over again, I would the same.
Yeah, I found that to be just very impressive, because a lot of people do not take that particular route. And then come out like you have, I mean, because you are top of the class. I mean, you're doing great in both places and not getting distracted. And so tonight we're talking about the power of the education. We don't have to forfeit anything by going to an HBCU. It is a matter of your diligence and your ability to stay focused. There are people at that, and we'll talk about just North Carolina A&T. Let's just pump that up tonight. There are professors there who will push you to become the best you want to be, but you're going to have to make sure you stay focused. And we have a great example of that in Judge Banks Prince. All right. And so I'm looking at your route to being a judge, and I've just got to make some stops. Because is your route typical? Is this the typical route? Because you go and you are you're with a law firm for, it looks like, maybe 1 year, then you stop and you move to being a public defender. And I want to talk about that. And then you move on. So is this a typical route for people to go that way? Or is this just something that was a blessing for you? And why did you go this route? Why did you choose this?
Well, again, I always knew I wanted to return to Winston-Salem to work. So my first job opportunity was here in Winston-Salem with an attorney who had a general practice. So within that, it was a little over a year that I worked for him. I actually worked for him in the summers before I graduated, and then he offered me a position upon graduation. And so with him having a general practice where there were multiple areas of practice, I learned that I really enjoyed the practice of criminal law. At that time, we did not have a public defender's office. The public defender's office in Forsyth County did not exist until 2003. And so it was then that the first public defender, who was George Clary, he recruited several lawyers who he thought were good lawyers that he wanted to work in his office. And at that time, I knew, being in the private sector, there were many people who wanted my services, but I worked for an attorney and he had fees that we had to charge, and those people could not afford our services, but they needed legal services. And so I wanted to help people. As you know, my undergraduate degree is in social work, and I just enjoy helping people. So being a public defender gave me the opportunity to help so many people with things that people often take for granted. Things that may seem trivial to you and I is life-changing to fix or help someone get out of a situation or to get back on the right track. I saw that position as a public defender as an opportunity to do just that, and that's what it was. So that was 5 years of the practice of criminal law.
That's amazing that you would, and I see the social work piece, and so that it is amazing that you would want to. I mean, I don't know many lawyers. Most of them want the fees. You know what I'm saying? At least that's our experience. And so for you to want to basically go and say, I want to be a public defender. I mean, you getting kudos tonight. Like, I mean, I ain't know. So, I mean, your stock is rising, and people on here who know you, they are pumped. And I'm so happy that I'm on the side of this thing with you. That is absolutely phenomenal, because most people who are smart, educated, typically don't come with the sense of, and this is general, let me go back and give to somebody who does not have the ability to kind of give to me, especially in a law firm. And so is there something that happened during a public defender that you are particularly proud of during that moment, you know, that you can think? I know that's been a moment ago, and I'm going to ask you that.
There were, just in general, people who didn't know how to navigate the system, got into a situation that they ordinarily would not have gotten into and would not have known what to do. A lot of those people, I felt like it was meant for me to represent them and their life. Like one person in particular, every time he sees me, he's thankful. He says, "You changed my life. I didn't have my driver's license and hadn't had them for 15 years before I met you. And you got my license back." And that was something that was big to me, helping people. Something as simple as a driver's license. It determines whether you can legally drive to work and legally do things that you need to do to run your household and just to function. So those things, those types of opportunities, they were plentiful as a public defender. And that's what I looked forward to doing.
That is so impressive. I mean, you're so impressive. All right. So here we go. So here you are, you're this lawyer, you're doing the public defender thing. And it looks like you got an appointment. Mm-hmm. So tell me first of all, were you surprised? Number one, were you looking for it? You know, like, were you really looking for it to be a judge, or I mean, how does he find you out of all these lawyers? How does it happen to you? We had a guest on who just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and it sent his career into a different place. Is that the same kind of thing? You know, you were just at the right place, or you met him and he liked your work? What happened? Did you want to do it? I'm pumped about this answer.
Well, for me, I believe it was God's providence. So you asked me, did I want to be a judge as a kid? No, I didn't. But okay. I believe that God already had it for me before I knew it. So all of these things that were happening when I was a child, and learning to be disciplined, learning to be studious, learning to want to serve, that was all a part of it. And growing up in Forsyth County and getting these teachers who are really helpful and instrumental in shaping me and teaching me to appreciate education, and then going to A&T, going to Central, all of those things were preparing me. Now, when I got here and started practicing law, there were many people who said to me, "You look like a judge," or "You are going to be a judge one day." So I began to ponder the idea, and I planned to run for office in 2012, but obviously God had a different plan. So the seat was created. It was not in existence. Just like I told you, the public defender's office was not in existence. I came here, I worked a year, the public defender's office came up in 2003. Then 5 years later, the opportunity for the judicial appointment. So I say, when I talk about God's providence in this, the appointment process requires the governor. No, he did not know me personally. It requires him to depend on people who do know me, and those people come from this community. So it was my teachers. It was people I had worked with. It was people from A&T, people from Central. And not only was it just people from Central, it turns out I had been a student of his wife, and he had graduated from Central Law. So when the time came and the people in my community had already rallied around me and said, "Okay, we support her. This is who we want," I don't think it was a difficult decision, but I give God credit for starting it and finishing it from childhood up into the bench.
Now, I got to ask this question because this is me. So when he wanted to appoint you, did you run around the house like I would have, just jumping up and down, like, "Ooh, I got the appointment"? Or did you get in your car? Did you be like, "Oh my God, Lord Jesus," cry, something? What? I mean, what happened?
I did. I cried because I was overwhelmed. To me, I'm like, "God, you chose me for this." And it's not something that I take lightly. So it was that kind of moment. No, I didn't run around because I felt the weight of this. This is a serious position. And at
Yeah.
that time, I was 32 years old. So I felt like, "God, if you're going to put me in this position, I'm going to need you to lead me, guide me, undergird me, give me the wisdom." And he's done just that. So here we are 13 years later. And it's just been everything that I could have hoped and imagined that it could be.
So what does it take to actually be a judge? Let me be a little bit more serious, because I think I read something where you have to be a lawyer a certain amount of time, and then you can go into being a judge. I don't know. It's one of those things where, I just wanted to know, how do you become a judge? Is there a process under normal circumstances?
Okay, so for me, I was appointed, and then I still had to run for election. So I'm a district court judge in state court, and our terms at the district court level are 4 years. Okay, but backing up, you have to have an undergraduate degree. You have to have a law degree from a ABA accredited law school, and then you have to pass the bar. That's what the qualifications are. And then obviously you would have to have some experience. Somebody has to know who you are to vote for you, because it's the citizens who elect. Even after an appointment, you've got to be elected.
Okay.
And then, of course, the age 72 is the maximum age that a judge can serve.
I still have hope.
You do.
Okay, so when we get to this, I think I had another question. Oh yeah, because that was the thing. I wanted to know what happens to judges. First of all, why do you all have to run every 4 years? And then what happens if a judge loses? Like, what do they go to judge purgatory or something? I mean, what happens?
So the law is that our terms are 4 years. That's the law. But when you're no longer a judge, you're still an attorney. I'm an attorney now. I just cannot practice law while I'm serving. So I can decide to practice law, or I can decide to practice social work or teach as a professor. There's so many other alternatives.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So life doesn't end once someone is no longer a judge. They're still a person who can still contribute.
And I know people are probably like, "Why are you asking such a dumb question like that?" But it is because a lot of us We say, oh, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to be a judge, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But we don't understand the process behind it. And so when I ask these questions, it comes out comical, but it's being vetted in some way, because some people really want to know, because we see this stuff every 4 years. And so here's another question. Can you become one of the judges that don't have to run anymore? And what is that? Like, I mean, is it something different from being this district judge to overseeing criminal cases versus being someone who never has to run again? And I know there's a Supreme Court, but aren't there judges that don't have to do it? Maybe state level, maybe.
You're talking about federal. You're talking about federal judges. They are not elected. They are appointed, and those are lifetime positions.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you want that?
I want what God has for me. So right now I'm content where I am. And if he shows me some other opportunity, then I'll follow his lead.
It seems like I like you as a judge. I just like you as a person.
I hope so.
We want people like you on the seat. And so the question here is the $1 million question. I wrote down here, you are absolutely impressive. You're a wife, you're a mother of 4, you're a judge. How do you manage it all? How do you maintain amazingness? Because that's what you are. You doing it. I'm here to celebrate you. I'm here to celebrate you because I'm like, this is so impressive to me. And you're not even arrogant. Like most people would be arrogant. You know, I know a few of them.
Yeah, there's no reason to be arrogant. You know, it's God who keeps me centered. He's at the center of everything. He's at the center of my work, my personal life, being a mother, being a spouse, being a friend, all of those things. He's at the center of it all. And that's how I keep it balanced. It is difficult, but I have comfort in knowing that he's going to meet my needs with all of it. And that's been how I have made it up to this point, keeping that as the way I approach everything.
I love it. So you were district. Now you are over something, mental health treatment court. So here it is again, something that's been created.
Yes, correct.
Is this again something that you wanted to do? What is so special about the mental health treatment court, and what is it that you oversee?
Okay, so the mental health treatment court is a court of diversion, meaning there are people who are identified as persons who suffer from severe mental illness, and we believe that illness is the reason that they have landed in the criminal justice system. So rather than to criminalize the persons, we give them the opportunity to come through a court that diverts their case to where we address their mental issues, their mental health needs, and we reward those people by dismissing. The state of North Carolina takes a dismissal of the charges once they've completed a lot of things that we have lined up for them to do for treatment. So I really love the court. There's a tremendous stigma around mental illness. And what our court seeks to do is eradicate that and properly address it when persons come through the criminal justice system. I've really enjoyed it. I find it to be a very rewarding opportunity. And I believe the treatment team who works with me, because we all work as a team. It's not just me in there. There's a team of professionals who want to see all of these people do well and get well.
Now you presided over something else before. What? Because I think I saw something maybe on LinkedIn that you did just civil court, just maybe that's what it was, or you handled. No, I wanted to know, what did you do before you got this appointment as a judge? What did you oversee? What was your typical case?
So now keep in mind, the mental health treatment court only meets twice a month. And it's only a small segment of what I do. So all district court judges We preside over civil and criminal cases. So, and we preside over trials, and where there's a jury sometimes. Most of the time, we have a bench trial where the judge serves as the judge and the jury. So we have general jurisdiction, and we hear cases domestic in nature, criminal, general, civil, juvenile. They're just just about anything at the courthouse is heard at the district court level.
Are you this is off script, but you can not answer it if you want to. Are you one of the tough judges? You know that when people come into your room, you set us all in place. I want to say I was in one of your courts one time, and I want to say now, and a little baby was crying, and you said to the bailiff, I think it was you. Now, you said to the bailiff, it was somebody over to the right. You said there's a noise over here to the right. I need you to remove that noise. I was like, she ain't gonna look up from the paper. She got that baby up out of there, baby. I'm just curious. How do you? Is that a part of the management of your court? Is that what you're taught how to do? Because it's different, isn't it? For some judges, it's just based on the personality, maybe. I don't know.
No, it depends. What the main thing about a courtroom is order. If it becomes disorderly, then the judge cannot conduct court business. So personalities are different. Different judges run their courtrooms differently. But the bottom line is we all are to maintain order in our courtrooms. Now, what order looks like may vary from judge to judge.
Okay. Because you all are, I mean, all right. But you all are, I don't know what happened. Y'all demand, everybody got to stand up. I'm talking about when you walk in, is that a sense of, if I see one of y'all sitting there, I know that ain't proper English. I read some books. I know how to do it. I'm sorry, Judge. But if y'all don't stand up, I'm going to, because I've seen some bailiffs, boy, put some people in total check. Nobody wears their hats. I mean, that's just something. And is that the process of being a judge? Or is that just the honor of the courtroom?
It's all about order and the court and decorum. And so there are rules that everyone is to adhere to. And so that's what that's about when you see it. And that's just across the board. You stand when court is opened, and everyone sits once the bailiff or the deputy finishes with the opening, and then the judge is responsible for dispensing of the business of the court.
Got you. So what is a typical day of a judge?
It depends on which courtroom the judge is assigned. The COVID pandemic has changed some things for us. And so a lot of things now we have handled remotely. But before the pandemic, there could be days where the courtroom has 350 people there. And then there's other days where a judge is hearing a domestic matter that may last an entire week involving the same parties. So it depends on what type of case is being heard.
Okay. Is there, I don't know. It's so many things about, I'm so impressed with you and your levelness. I mean, we really, I'm so honored to have this opportunity to kind of talk to you on this kind of scale. It is refreshing, if you will, because a lot of us are law-abiding citizens, right? And so I can't remember. I was at court because I was a pastor for somebody else. It wasn't because of me. Mm-hmm. So typically I don't need your services, and I hope I never have to need them at all. But it is refreshing because we have ideas out here that are different. We see things on television, maybe in the news, and this particular moment of talking to you really gives a different insight. You really are about help, and that comes across in in your presentation, that your whole thing is really about service. And I would have never thought that, coming from that seat. It seems like a seat of power and demand, and but you really do have this air about you of, I want to serve and I want to help. And I applaud you. Is that from your upbringing, from being that older sibling, or is that just innate in you to just want to help people?
I think it's a bit of both, but I've been blessed in so many ways. And when you see a need and you have something that you can give, some things are invaluable. The things that I talked about that I had the opportunity to do as an attorney and as a judge. And so it gives me great joy to know that I've been able to impact somebody or my community in a positive way. And I would like to say most of my colleagues have a similar mentality about the work that we do. This is a very esteemed profession, but it is a service profession. And that's the thing we all have to know going into it. It's weighty work that we do, and it is a service.
Yeah. I can't keep the judge as long as I would keep everybody else. And so to this young girl, this young boy who's 15, 16, what do you say to them? How do you encourage them to pursue, if they want to do this or if they want to do something else? Give us your advice, if you will, because you are very accomplished in what you're doing. And I'm gonna ask one more question, but go ahead. Give us some advice to that young person or old person who wants to do something great.
Okay, so what I tell young people when I speak to them in a school or wherever, there's something that you're naturally good at. You have a natural knack or a gift or talent, and there is a career path for that. So set some goals. And the number one thing is to learn to respect authority. That starts at home with respecting your parents, because that's the first tier, first level. Then you've got the teachers who are there to educate you, but they're also authority figures. So that is very important at that level, that you first learn to have respect, to understand it, especially for someone who wants to hold a position of authority. You have to first understand authority, what it means to be under someone else's governing and ruling, so you'll understand how to handle your power and authority. But also, I think it's very important for young people, and I drive these points home to my sons: be serious about your education. It's an opportunity, and if you have the ability and the work ethic, you can do anything you want to do if you're willing to work for it. And sometimes you're going to have to do some things you really don't want to do. But they prepare you. I still think fondly of my first job as a cashier at McDonald's. And then by the time I got to my senior year at A&T, I was a shift manager at McDonald's. So that was getting me started with leadership, responsibility, accountability. So start where you can. Right now, at 16, 15, you have to start somewhere like that, but it prepares you. If you want to go into service, it prepares you to learn how to serve people. But the main thing I say to people, young people, be careful who your associates and your friends are. It's very critical. I've heard it said, you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And that speaks to a group of women that I am now, these are my lifelong sisters. We are all judges, and we met at Central Law School. All four of us were just elected again in 2020. And that's, to me, is the best illustration I can give of how important it is for you to know how to choose friends, people who have the same values and are doing the same things your parents taught you that is right to do. because if you get involved with the wrong people who take you down the wrong path, then it could derail you or delay plans that you have for your future.
You wearing me out. I should have left some of my friends at the door. Should have got rid of some of them. Should have hit them in the You're right. Thank God. We know this as a scripture that says there's a guy in the Bible that says, I am both under authority and I'm over authority. And he says to Jesus, I don't need you to come in my house. If you can just speak a word, then I know my servant will be healed. And so I live by that principle that I govern or I rule from that same premise that I'm under authority. I'm accountable to someone. And even if it's not a man, I'm accountable to the people I serve. So I have to make sure I do what I do with them in mind. Even though they listen to me, I'm just saying I am accountable to them to be right and to be good. And so did all of you all want to be judges? Now, this is a side note now.
Well,
all in law school?
One of us did, and she is the one who is in Atlanta, Georgia. But the other three of us did not. So I'm here in Forsyth County. One is in Halifax, Bertie County, and the other one is in Durham County. We all wanted to be lawyers, but the opportunity for judges came up at different times. So I was first in January of 2008, and then the other one in Halifax County we were both elected in November of that year. And then the other one, I think she was appointed to a position like in 2012, and then she was elected. Another one was elected in 2016, and then all four of us were on the ballot in 2020. All four of us have been elected to new 4-year terms.
I absolutely love that. Now, big question. You could have gone anywhere. Why did you want to come back?
Well, first of all, I'm a hometown girl. My grandmother is here. She's 90 years old. We just celebrated her birthday on Sunday, where she turned 90.
Happy birthday.
Yes. So I was going where my grandmother was because she and my mom she's here too. And they both were very strong women who I'd seen their hard work and determination. And I just am that. Even though I'm the oldest, the others left and lived in other states and different places, but I just wanted to be home. And it's a decision that I have not regretted.
And we are happy you came back. We are ecstatic that you are here. I'm glad that all of you all won. What is it called? Judicialship or whatever, judgeship, however you want to say. I'm pumped to be able. You gotta. I don't know. Can judges have fans? Because I think I'm a new fan now. Can I start a fan club?
I don't have a fan club, but I can give you some other information later.
You are absolutely marvelous. Now, to these young people, please listen. This is a wonderful example of determination, of focus, of not having to leave outside of the HBCU experience, not having to leave from her hometown. She's done what she's done. She's come back, and there is a spirit of excellence that is on her life. And for those of you who are cousins and friends and church members and all those people who get to know her on a more personal note, personal level, you guys are tremendously blessed. Just from an hour and 15-minute involvement with you, it makes me want to do better. I need to do better. I'm gonna first get rid of some of my friends. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Put some of them to the curb. They know who they are. I gotta put them out. I want to give you, because I'm not gonna hold you long. You're busy. I'm gonna give you, your final words and just whatever you want to say. And I know you've given some advice to the young people. And y'all, I'm sure there are 9,000 questions I could ask her. But for the sake of time, I just appreciate you being here. And I want to give you some words that you got the floor. You have the floor.
I'm just honored that you wanted to honor me, and it's been an honor to be here and to serve as a district court judge in my hometown. It's work that I don't take for granted. It's work that I truly enjoy, and I appreciate the voters and their confidence in me to serve and to lead in this community. So I am grateful, and thank you again for having me.
You are excellence personified. I cannot have enough. I don't have enough adjectives in my vocabulary to just thank you so much just for serving, the route that you've taken, for your friendships that you've done, for your being smart, for being focused, and for being an example to our community. I am, somebody says I am impressed. They am impressed how you responded to his call. And that is so good tonight. You've done some stuff from behind the veil. I'm going to stop here. God, I'm a God dude. So talk to me. You talked a little bit about it earlier. How important is he in helping you with all of this? And I know you alluded to it earlier, but I just want to just have a little bit to say about that, because we are behind the veil.
He's central to it all. I give him glory for it all. It's not that I was so smart or any of that. I did not have some of the things that you expect people to have, like political ties or money. I had him. I had my faith in him. And as long as I was willing to work hard, he has rewarded me. So, and rewards come with responsibility. And I just appreciate all of the people from over the years, whether it been a church person that he put in my life, a friend, a family member, a circumstance, a heartbreak, a disappointment, whatever it was. At the end of it all, I can just see how God has been there every step of the way. So, it's not so much of me being this big judge or any of that. That's not what it is for me. My work is my work, and I enjoy it, but I do it as unto him.
I can't say it enough. You are excellent. I mean, I love it. I extend to you. I don't do a whole lot of hoping. I mean, we're praying that you stay the course and do everything that God has for you. Get all of it. You make me almost want to go to your high school and your college and join your church. I almost did it, and then I came to my senses. I said, no, we're not doing that. I appreciate you, Judge Camille Banks Prince. And now, is it Judge Banks Prince? Is that how they have to address you in the court?
Yes, Judge Banks Prince. Banks is my maiden name, but Prince belongs to my husband, my Prince. That's his last name.
I love it. Prince. Banks, Judge Banks Prince. And I'm telling you, you are awesome. And anything we can do to help, if there's anything that you need of me, any gift, you're going to find out I'm very gifted and I can do a whole lot of stuff for you that most people can't do. And so, but I'm glad, God knows you have done it tonight. And I pray y'all share this. This message should be shared as many times, especially to your young Black girls. I want to let them see somebody. You can be it if you can see it. And I need them to see this is somebody who is doing excellent work, and we celebrate you. Thank you so much for your time. Joining me tonight. Y'all, I got to get off of here. I'm Stephen Williams. I could ask a whole bunch of more questions about the robe, but I'm just going to go buy me a robe myself. I don't want to have to do all that. And I am so impressed. And I want you all to, when y'all see her again in the future, support this lady, support this icon, if you will. We want you to do and continue to do and be great things in our community. And I'm looking forward to it. Again, I'm gonna start a fan club right here. I'm gonna start a new fan club. I'm outside the county line, but I'm gonna start a new fan club just for you. I'm so impressed. Listen, y'all, I gotta go. Can't hold her. I'm Stephen Williams. Don't go nowhere, Judge Banks Prince. Don't go nowhere. But we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna do this last little song. I appreciate you. We celebrate you. We honor you. And we thank you for your service. This journey has really been, to hear your journey has really been a powerful thing. Everybody out there, keep pushing, keep pressing, stay disciplined. Come back and read this again. Listen to it again, because she gave us some little nuggets. Connectivity, God being the center, all of those wonderful things. Let's do that and stay the course so that you can be great and do great things. Next week, I got Monique Stewart. She's the first female engineer hired at the Federal Railroad Administration. And she is a mechanical engineer, and she did it. And I can't wait to hear what she's saying. So thank you again, Judge Banks Prince. And this is Stephen Williams. They called me the Good Bishop. Thank y'all for joining me behind the veil. We got to get out of here. I got to go. I don't want to make nobody mad. We going back to Mr. Goldsmith and Soul Out. They had this song right here that I just like, because it's had a little bounce to it. Everybody bounce your head like that right there, and you can move. You know, if you like us, you got a double move. Do it. They're gonna put me out the church. Yes, he is. Yeah. We gotta go. Yeah. I put my faith in him. God is great. We're looking at it. Thank you. Yeah. We gotta go. Y'all can look him up on there if y'all want this. But we celebrate her, and because he's been great, and he's great to her, he can be great to you. Stay focused and let God do it for you. We appreciate all of you. Join me next week behind the veil. This is Stephen Williams. They call me the Good Bishop. I gotta go. Signing off. Get me out of here. We gotta move.